Hello and welcome to the Overshadow Shadowcast. And I hate doing this now because it's constantly redlining the mic.
Do you
I
want me
don't
to do
really
it?
know
I'll do it.
where.
I'll do it. Hello
If I
and welcome to
stand,
the
no,
Overshadow.
if I'm back here and I talk normally like this, say, it doesn't redline it, and then if I get here, it does. But if I'm ever going, yeah,
Your gain is
it
off then.
redlines it straight away.
Your gain is off. Your gain must be off.
As soon as I go, woo.
I can hear it. It fuzzes out. That's a technical term, by the way. The fuzzing out.
Are you sure? Or what about this? What about if I do this? Or
That
this?
that sounds a bit better.
Okay. So does that sound better?
To me, it does.
Okay, let's just see how this works. If you can't hear anything, it's Abigail's fault. Hello and welcome to Overshadow
As is
Shadowcast.
most
It's
things.
redlined again. Yes. Hello and welcome to Overshadow. It's done. Hello and welcome. Madame and Monsieur. Dan mijn heer is
Have I had a stroke? What's going on?
Welcome to the Overshadow Shadowcast. I can't do anything without it red. This is all going in, by the way. I can't do anything without it redlining. Hello and welcome to Overshadow Shadowcast with your host Thomas Anderson and Tech Wizard Abigail Mowat.
Hello.
Start saying stuff.
Hello. I am talking. I'm talking now. I'm saying hello to everybody. Hello.
Is it
hello.
redlining?
Hello. I don't know because I'm looking at your screen.
Oh, aye. Good point. Allow me to fix this problem.
No, I'm being kicked out. No.
Kick you.
No.
Tell me, is it redlining?
No. No, it's not.
Okay, right. Well, you're not really screaming, are you?
I thought I was.
Hello and welcome.
You're not screaming.
I was before. I was before. That must sound terrible down here. Does that sound terrible?
It
Hello?
sounds like you're in a cupboard.
Help me, I'm stuck in a cupboard, help me.
Have you ever heard, was it Rob Brydon's little man trapped in a box? That was weird. I didn't know you could do that.
Well, it's just a slowed down version of...
That also is very creepy. Oh, do you know what happened this week? And I don't think we've not been able to tell. I dropped something on my computer. I dropped a brass plant pot on my computer and it dented it. Like the actual box.
Fine,
it's working
because
but
you managed to hit a part of the computer that doesn't have anything built onto it. It's a blank surface, but that is a bit lucky because if you'd hit a non-blank surface, you could have cracked something.
I was so upset. It's because the plant died. It was upset with the ghost of the plant haunted the plant pot and it fell on my computer. I've since moved it.
Did your hand feel icy cold when you picked it up?
It did, but it's only because I was outside helping to build a shed in the freezing rain.
My God, that's ice. You should be dead.
No, you can have freezing cold water without it being ice.
You didn't say freezing cold. You said freezing.
I meant to say freezing cold.
Well then, you're dead already. It's canon.
Oh, it was so bad because literally I was outside and I was trying to pick up screws and nails and I just couldn't because my hands, like, it was like a claw. And I was trying to, like, and I just couldn't. It was horrible. And then I was out there for about 4.5 hours. I came in and I tried to warm up, but I was so tired for the rest of the day. Like, I was just totally shot.
Yeah, I know.
After,
what that's like.
Sorry for that thrilling story. But I'm really upset. I'm tempted to whether or not to see if I could take off the back panel and try and pop it back.
Oh, I would leave it for now. There's no if it's working.
I'll just put my portable CD thing over it. And then it'll pretend it's not. It's like when it's like when I freshly painted my bedroom wall and then somebody accidentally scratched it, so I put a picture frame in front of it.
This has not happened. Click.
Yeah.
Okay. What have you been playing? Sorry, no. I'll rephrase. No, stop. I'll rephrase that. How's it going on GTA Online?
It is going very well. I was very impressed with myself, and I let you know how impressed I was with myself because what did I do? I completed a difficult mission by myself.
did.
Yeah.
I was pausing for comedic effect. I remember full well that you did the mission in which you have to blow up the trucks by yourself and you saved the prostitute Anna by yourself.
Yes, I did.
I know. I was pausing for humorous impact.
Sorry.
Did. There you go. I remembered.
But I was very impressed with myself because this mission took the two of us. How many goes did it take for them blowing up the trucks?
5 or 6.
Goes. I did it on the
Because
second.
all you had at that time was a sniper and a shotgun, so anything at middle range was just absolute nightmarish.
I've gotten better at throwing bombs from a moving car while I drive it.
Yes, that's very good. That's a really positive skill to have.
Yeah.
Because drive-bys aren't as big a deal if you can just bomb stuff.
But it was really annoying because at one point I literally had one truck left. I was being pinned down from one guy who was like across the alley from me. And then one guy who was high up on like a stairwell.
Yeah.
And they had pinned me down. And I was like, I don't want to move because if I move, I'm going to die. So I think that the actual mission, I got it on the second time doing it.
Good.
But I think the actual mission probably took me about 25 to 30 minutes to complete because I had to wait for so long just to figure out where everybody was. But it was worth it.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. As your shooting skill hits max, you'll find that you'll be able to just...
It wasn't so much, it was the angle. It's the angle I was at.
But you'll find that basically if they poke their head up and you go, you'll just headshot and kill them. It just works for you, basically.
Yeah.
And if they come running out, it won't take 2 or 3 bursts to take them down. You'll just go and they'll drop.
Yeah.
Whereas at the minute you go and they sort of fall over.
No, sometimes they just die.
No, I know, but you're still at the stage where sometimes they will go and then get back up. Whereas, I mean, you're nowhere near as bad as it was before, where it was like try to put pistol shots of that AK-47U, and you're just like.
But I'm using all
reload, and they're getting back up after a full magazine to the chest.
I am utilizing all the skills you taught me though. Like hide it, like run to the next cover.
Cover to cover, yeah.
Which is working really well.
Because that's the thing about GTA. If you stay in cover and you don't get flanked, they find it almost impossible to kill you.
I mean, I have still been using my personal favorite fallback.
Is that Crazy Serpentine?
I don't know what that is.
Ah!
No, it is lobbing grenades in general directions of bad guys.
Oh yeah. You like doing that.
Yeah, which it does work.
Which is hilarious whenever you start with somebody new on GTA because they always drop the grenade at their feet.
Kaboom!
Because it's LT to aim and RT to fire, but they assume that pulling RT will work because if you do it with a gun, they obviously shoot. But that's because you have to pick a direction to shoot.
Yeah.
The game will just raise and shoot. But a grenade can be dropped, so they just drop it. And then you go, ah, and run away, and boom, and then get lifted into the air and thrown in slow motion.
Do you know what we've not done in a really long time?
Played anything other than GTA?
Yeah. Played it in a Halo custom match.
Yeah.
We should have a go at that. For all time's sake.
For me, the difficulty I'm having is getting enough space on my console.
Oh, of course, yes.
Because you have the full Tera, but I've only got a half Tera.
Oh, did we also tell people... I think we talked about it last time when we were discussing the space issue on my computer. And that over 400 gigabyte was taken up by gameplay
completely
footage.
Unnecessary recordings on the Xbox Companion app because they're like 10 times the size of OBS recordings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't get over that.
I actually had a check of mine. I have to go through mine because I've got 14 gigs of recordings I didn't know about.
Yeah.
From the Companion app that I took so I can send to mine bro there, but he's never going to be able to get them if they're that size.
We need to have a time where we all play together.
Yes, well, that should be fast approaching because the two of you should be should be winding down a bit. And I know I've got some assignments to do, but I've got plenty of time to do them. So.
Well, this week I was planning on getting a lot of stuff done for the next block.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I was routinely asked, "Could you come out to help build a shed?"
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to get a lot done.
That's fine.
And Tuesday was a very sleepy day for me. I lay on the couch for a long time in the sun.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of that, but you sent me the picture and you had your eyes shut and it was like one of those fake
Yeah.
sleeping pictures. But I don't think you meant it to be a
No.
sleep feeking picture, a fake sleeping picture. I think you meant it to be a case of I am taking a picture of myself and I'm so cozy I cannot keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
So whatever I take a picture of is what you're getting sent. So it could have just been like the window or the floor because you wouldn't
Yeah.
have known what you were pointing the camera at.
I tried to have a nap today. It didn't work.
I didn't get to sleep till 9 in the morning, and I got up at 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. No, for me that's not too bad. I don't seem to sleep during the night anymore. I think I've fallen asleep once while it was dark in the past.
Tell you what, I'll stay up with
months.
you. I'll stay up with you on Sunday night because Monday night, because I am determined to watch a live stream of a YouTuber. But because he's in the US, he does it live streams like 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or something like this, which is normally 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I had somebody who relied on me to wake them up because it's just like, this person's doing this thing at 2 in the morning. Oh, I'll wake you up then. I'll still be awake.
Yeah,
it's like no way I'm going to be asleep by then.
But we have the same agreement, except I normally wake you up at normal times.
Yeah,
during the day.
You like text me at like 9 in the morning. No, you text me at 6 in the morning when you wake up, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And say, oh, I just had a nice night's sleep, and I say, I'm going to bed now.
No, like we chat for about 2 hours, and you go, I'm going to go to bed now. Okay, good night.
Yeah.
We wake up, and then I have to wake you up. Like, can you wake me up at 1? Okay. So I message you. Are you awake?
And then I wake up at about 2:30.
Yeah, and I phone you about 5 or 6 times. And I feel guilty because you've not woken up, and I'm like, oh, I should have called him more.
In fairness, I actually very rarely sleep a normal amount of hours, because if I fall asleep at 9 and wake up at 2 or 3, that's only 5 or 6.
No, I understand that.
Huh?
No, I understand that.
So, but it's also at the wrong time, so it's worth about 2. It's just like, it's total useless. My sleep is basically to stop my heart from not beating. It's not really functional sleep. It's just, look, his organs need some sort of rest, and then he just animates himself into a sitting position at 2 or 3 in the afternoon and just goes.
How did we get onto the conversation about sleeping? How did we get onto the conversation about sleeping? Because we started off by me talking about blowing up trucks.
You don't do that while you're asleep. I'm constantly throwing grenades out the window when I'm asleep. That's why we have to that's why I can't sleep with the window open, otherwise I just start strafing the other side of the road.
Oh, Joe, I've been rewatching. You just say grenade and it just reminded me of it. Is Sword Art Online?
Yes, because you did tell me to watch it, but I'm a bit busy doing other things.
I know.
I've got to watch D&D, otherwise I can't make Towers of Clade.
I feel bad because every time you bring that map, I'm like, what the hell? What the heck's that? Yeah. Oh no! Wait, yes, of course I remember.
I came up with some powers, and I'm going to read them.
Are they family friendly?
Yeah. I won't tell you what they do. I'll just tell you the names.
I'm just winding you up.
There are some ones which you could argue aren't family friendly.
I know, but you've discussed it with me.
Oh come on, that's an amazing power.
I can't actually remember what the power is. I just remember
the one where it moves through different enemies and becomes more powerful as it goes.
You're gonna have to tell me later on. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, it's designed basically with boss battles in mind, where the boss has several minions of lower level to support. Because the most difficult thing in a dice RPG is when you have to fight more than one opponent.
Yeah.
Because if you've got one opponent, they get 1 attack per combat round. But if you've got 5 opponents, that's 5 attacks. And if they gang up on one person, it's basically an inverse of a boss fight. So the hardest thing you can do is give them the uber boss plus some mini bosses at the same time.
Yeah.
So this power is there to combat that because it builds in strength.
Yeah.
more people you fight. Anyway,
I came up with a good one. I'll shut up now.
no, on you go, so I can remember. I've got it noted down. Tell me
I
what it
can't
was.
remember what it was, but I told you about it. You were like,
You
"Oh,
got to
that's
give
a
me
good
more than
power."
that. You got to give me more than
Was
that.
it that you could change your appearance or something?
Oh, yeah. There is a version of something similar to that in D&D, but I liked your version better
Yeah.
because in your version, it's an actual change.
Yeah, it's not a camouflagey thing, it's an actual change.
And it's not like polymorph where you change into a different species. It's basically just this person, if they want to be an extra 2 foot taller, becomes 2 foot taller.
Yeah, it's like you can like assimilate into town or something like that. On like basically, it's like an ultimate stealth
Yeah,
power.
so basically, if you're a species that doesn't have ears, you can't grow ears. But if you have ears, you can make them pointy and make yourself look like an elf. You wouldn't be an elf, but you could look like one.
Yeah.
If there's a species that has a tail, you can't grow a tail or remove the tail. You can't grow extra arms and legs
No, you could. That was part of the power.
to change species. Or it
Yeah.
was you can't change gender depending on the species because then body parts would disappear.
No, I thought it was that you could just like this would be like ultimate like top tier power. Like depending
Hmm.
on how powerful you are. Like so for example, like low skill of the power. That could be like within your own speed, like being able to change height and things
Yeah,
like this.
okay.
And then as you get more powerful, you can change more into different species. Not so much like a horse.
Yes, but another sentient species.
Yeah.
But I do have to say that there have to be some limitations because if you did change, oh, is it sex is the right word here?
Gender.
That's the one. No, gender's this identification. Sex is supposed to be the physical form.
Okay.
That would change who you are on such a hormonal and chemical level that I think that's too big a change.
Hmm.
You would literally become less or more violent. You would literally be, that's just too big.
The more
So there would be
testosterone
some
you have.
species, that don't do sex and gender the way humans do it in the game, and
Oh
so you
yeah.
wouldn't be able to turn into them or from them
Hmm. That'd be interesting.
because you have to. So that's like an inbuilt limitation. That because I want the game to be full of magic, but I want it to scientifically make sense.
Okay.
Because I think that's a good way of limiting. Because you need natural limitations.
What if you can change enough of yourself, but not all of yourself? The higher level you go, like you could change yourself. I'm thinking of like a cat, like some sort of like cat person, but your eyes stay human. So you have to hide them like under glasses or something like that.
Well, that would be more of a middle to upper level. I'm just saying the definite limitation would be that you can't alter genitalia and you can't alter anything that would affect you neurochemically because those two changes
Mm.
would affect who you are on such a fundamental level that I just that change is for me too extreme.
The longer
Hmm.
you stay in that form, the less likely you'll be able to undo it.
I hate that idea because that
Oh,
terrifies me as being a huge downside to what should be a cool power.
but that could be a limitation. That could be.
But that's a limitation in which your entire game could be ruined or altered completely against a character's wishes because an egg timer ran out or something like that. No, I that's too extreme.
Okay.
That would be like casting cloak and you remain invisible forever or something like that. That's just
I
hold
feel
on.
like
I need
that.
to write that down. I just think that's really extreme a punishment just for being a bit.
Or how about this? If like you belong to like the initial power, like if you belong to like an elven, what's it class? Is that what you? I don't know the like right terminology for D&D. Like species like
Race.
race. Okay, so if like elven race or something like that, it's easier to transform yourself at like a lower tier to like different types of elven beings. If you're human, you can transform more easily into other human beings. And if you're like an insect species, you can transform into other insects more easily. like a lower level.
There's no insect species going in the
But
game.
that's what I'm.
Like that's just way too. I don't think as an ape species I could work out how they would look. And I think attempts to do them are always a bit weird.
That's do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I do. I completely, I understand what you're trying to say. I like it. I just think there'd have to be some limitations, otherwise it wouldn't make sense.
Okay. What have you been playing? Oh, you talked about, sorry, the.
Yeah, so I came up with a few here, just ideas that I wrote down. Dissolve bones.
Jellyfish people.
No, it was more along the lines of you cast this and it's really good. Does double damage on skeletons.
That's a creepy idea, though.
So if you're fighting, no, not the skeletons inside people. I'm talking about skeleton enemies.
Oh, I thought you meant.
It does damage to people, but obviously skeletons that are still alive can repair themselves. So if you're dissolving the bone, it can technically regrow. However, if you use it on an undead skeleton, it's not going to repair itself. So
Okay. I was imagining like you're going to battle, and you just dissolve like somebody brandishing a sword. Everything dissolves and it just goes.
Everybody just goes blah.
Yeah.
And then they die. Chest bear.
A what?
Chest bear.
Like a chest that's a bear.
No. Whoosh.
Or like you just blind people with your shiny chest.
Well, it's more of a sort of intimidation / inspirational move, where they go, look at my sexy
chest
pecs
bear
and 6-pack.
It's just like a little bear head on top of your chest.
No, that's disgusting. No, move on.
It's almost like it's a rawr.
No, guns.
Feed me fish. I wish for salmon.
No, guns. No, stop it. What are you doing?
I guess it's like brushing its nose.
No, guns. Guns is basically the idea sort of somewhat came to me from a mixture of people going like this, like and tensing their muscles, but also when Henry Cavill reloaded his arms in Mission Impossible. Have you seen that?
No.
He walks into a fight and just goes.
All right.
So I thought it would be funny to have a power you could cast on yourself that increases your melee damage by a few points.
Oh, I thought you meant like inbuilt guns in their arms, and it does every time they do that,
no guns.
That's what I was thinking. But it's also a gun.
No, guns.
Yes, no, I understand that, but I thought it was a play on words that you have guns within your guns, actual guns within your guns.
No. Infinite sprint. I don't know what to call this. I was thinking legs for days just for a laugh. But basically, certain classes of classes, not races, but certain classes will be able to run. You know how in video games your character can sprint and never get tired?
Mm.
So it's the same thing. Certain classes of character, soldiers and things like that, can just run all day.
Yeah.
So if somebody in your party has to deliver a message and you can't use magical means, you just have that guy take off at a full sprint. And they always have like way more movement than everybody else.
Yeah.
So that would be combat sort of oriented classes who do a lot of physical activity.
Yeah.
So soldiers and that sort of thing. And the last one I had before we started speaking was Fields of Succulent Death. Demise. Fields of Succulent Demise.
What's that?
It's an area of ground around the player that, or around an area that sucks the life out of the enemies in it. Or creatures in it, and transfers it to the caster.
Okay. I'm still thinking about the bear chest. The chest bear.
Right.
Chest bear.
This is going to be a weird one to edit because that was apparently all under the... Well, not edit, but put the pictures in because that was apparently all under the bracket of GTA Online, which you spoke for about 3 minutes and said, this is what I've done really well, and then we moved on to the weird stuff. I've been playing loads of things, but I was just going to quickly mention Star Wars games I've been playing, which is the Old Republic and Squadrons.
Yeah.
So I've been playing um, the Old Republic for the past couple of weeks. I took up my Sith character where I've turned into the light side, and it's getting extremely interesting. And you know how I don't like MMOs and other games that don't have stories in them?
Yeah.
So yes, the Old Republic has got a storyline for each of its classes. It's 8 classes. And they're really quite... I mean, you could blast through them really quickly if you went on such huge planets that were forcing you to go all over the place. But I find myself constantly saying, oh, what's next? What's coming next? What's happening now? And that says to me that I'm enjoying it. I'm obviously not enjoying it as much as a KOTOR game, don't get me wrong, but I am enjoying it. And it'll be interesting to see if this ending is not bugged. Because the last one was, and that was infuriating.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been playing Squadrons. We played a bit of that. I still think that all the videos are just stupid at the beginning with the dead faces and you can tell each individual sentence was recorded in a different sound booth at a different day than the previous sentence was. But the very basic, shallow story that they've written for this game is better than the 3 movies they just made. And it's just making me sit there saying, why wasn't it the New Republic against the Imperial Remnant? Why did they feel the need to create the Resistance and the First Order, which just don't make any sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, but what we were going to talk about today, and we're going to show a bit of, was Rome Total War 2. And we're doing the Parsec screen share. We're doing the Parsec screen share again. And I just want to be... Do it now.
I've got a song from The Witcher stuck in my head.
Can you see?
I can see. I'll just
We shall continue my Octavian campaign.
We watched a movie.
And I shall start recording my screen, which I nearly forgot to do.
Because we're talking about Rome, I was just going to quickly say we watched an old movie. I can't remember what it was called. But it had Christopher Plummer in it and that Italian actress I can never... Sophia Loren. Is that...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I never watched the end of it though. But it was about the fall of the Roman Empire. That's what it was. I was just talking about it while we're waiting for the game to load up. It was very weird watching Christopher Plummer in like a really... Sorry, do you want me to shut up?
No, it's just you're... Speak.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh yeah.
It's a connection between Discord and Steam that I had no idea would
Oh, that's
come
cool.
up.
I love the fact you got 2 giant characters in a teeny tiny village.
Attack on Titan.
Help us,
right.
help us.
I think this might be a bit loud for us trying to talk over the top of it.
Yeah, can you turn it down a little bit? Need a bit more? You're going to have to turn all of it down a little bit.
That's the master volume.
Oh, okay. That's better. Thank you. But also we're going to have to talk quite a lot over it in case we get copyright for the music.
Really?
Yep, because you have to be really, really careful because even videos like this, you have to be careful with music and stuff like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Music's
sorry.
Gone.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to...
We need to read a lot more into that sort of stuff, but I'm pretty certain that would be that would be extreme. That would be pretty extreme. I think video games are kind of all right on that. As long as it's not licensed. If it's made by the game producer, it's fine. If it's licensed, I think that's when you might have a problem.
I'm just being super careful. You know what I'm like.
Well, I just think that this is not licensed gated music, therefore we should be fine. But I'll turn it off just now.
Why is the village so small? Is it representational? Or are they actually giants?
No, it's not literal, it's figurative. It's so that you can actually see your army.
That's what I meant. Representation of the army.
Right, yes. I thought you meant representative of their actual size. So I am fighting with these guys on the left. These are my guys against these guys on the right. I believe this army is the last remaining army of this nation. Because when you take a nation's areas, their armies still remain. They just go through attrition because they've got
Oh,
no
what?
home
Sorry?
base. Attrition.
I don't know what that is.
Attrition is the slow and steady loss, like
Okay.
depredation or degradation. Basically, as they don't have a home area, they start to think, what's the point in us fighting? They also don't have money coming in or food or anything like that. So basically, they start to just,
Yeah. Can I ask a
and they lose
question?
quite a big chunk every turn.
Can I ask
Go
a
ahead.
question? Are you able to change what your character looks like the one that's highlighted in the
That's not my
square?
character.
Oh,
I am like,
I thought
I'm
that.
supposed to be the person who's in charge of the nation at
No,
that time. And then,
yeah,
so basically, I'm supposed to be the king. And then when he dies, or in this case, the emperor, but when he dies, or the leader of the Senate, depending on what's going on, but when he dies and the next one comes in, I then become that person. But really, you're more like a sort of god creature that's just in charge of
yeah.
everything.
No, it's just because he kind of looks like an older version of you,
Wow,
like a
that
much
guy looks
much older,
miserable. He
like a
looks
much
so
much
miserable.
older. Just the face shape.
So it normally tells you whether or not you're like these levies are very light skirmishers. The plebs are very light infantry, medium infantry for the vigiles, sorry, and the legionaries are very heavy infantry. That's my standout unit in this fight. That's what my entire battle strategy will pivot around, the legionaries. These chevrons that you can see denote the rank of the unit. So as you
Yeah,
can see, they've got much more experience in battle.
yeah.
Green bar is the health of the unit. That's how many troops are there. And this stuff here is upgrades. So I've got level 1 armor and level 1 weapons. So I've got better equipment. They've
But they're
got
more
more experience.
experienced.
I have superior numbers, but they probably on average have slightly better troops. I would probably balance these guys with these two, them with them, and these guys with these guys. So how I use my plebs is going to be important. This is
What's?
the deployment.
Yeah, I was just about to ask what that is.
This is your chances of victory.
So what's the yellow and the red?
I'm yellow, they're red.
Oh,
So I'm at about 25, 20% chance of victory.
that's not good.
No. I've got options. I can sally forth, which means to fight them on a battlefield. I can auto-resolve the assault and let the computer lose for me. Or I can fight in the city.
I didn't know that was a phrase,
I'm...
Sally Forth.
Pardon?
I've never heard of that, Sally Forth.
Yeah, to sally is to...
I've never heard of that. I didn't know that's what Sally meant.
There was a special type of gate sometimes built into walls that was to do with specifically sallying out to attack when under siege. What would you do if you were fighting? Because I've got 3 turns before ultimate surrender, or in this case, they've attacked. So what would you do?
I don't really know. What kind of
I'm
attack can you
going.
do?
Well, it's not kind of attack. It's do I attack the? They're going to attack me? So do I go out and meet them in a field, or do I fight them in the city?
I would probably meet them in the field because they might use the city to hide and do sneak attacks.
And that is exactly why I'm going to fight them in the city, because that's what I'm going to do. I am not outnumbered, but I'm sort of out-qualitied, as it were.
Yeah.
So I am going to have to funnel them into my heavy, heavy infantry. And to do that, I need buildings. And what do we have just back here?
Buildings.
A nice funnel of buildings. So I know this isn't glamorous, but it's not really
It's
much
very
else
it's very
for it.
jittery.
What do you mean?
It's like it's very blurry at some points.
Yeah, when you move it, like, yeah.
Like it's jittery when you move.
I don't know if you mean like...
Like it stops and starts.
Yeah, because I'm stopping and starting.
Okay.
I'm doing that
Okay.
rhythmically. That's not stopping.
It kind of
That's
just
me doing
it
it
looked like
rhythmically.
lag.
Yeah. Can you see the cursor?
I think I can
Hold
see
on,
my
let's just find
cursor.
out. Let's just find out. See if I spin the camera. on my phone. Can you see that cursor
No.
on your screen?
No, I can just see
Right.
my cursor
So,
at the top. I'm just moving out the
yeah.
way.
So the people watching this, which is James, they
Hi,
can see my
James.
cursor. So what I will
How you
do is,
doing? You alright?
you're right,
You alright?
you're right,
You
love, you're
alright?
right. I will line up a line of spearmen to take the initial charge.
I love the fact that they will stand in a hedge.
Behind them, I will put my heavy infantry so that I control my general and keep him safe from the initial charge. But also, you see the blue bar?
Yes.
That's ammunition.
Okay.
So you want them to be able to throw their ammunition.
Is it true that if they lost, they would kill 1 in every 10 legionnaire?
No. If memory serves, that wasn't for losing. That was for routing,
What's the routing?
running away. You'll see it in a minute because half this army will run away.
Ah. But yeah, like you said, they were slaves or something like that, a lot of the army. Wasn't
Plebs.
it?
Plebs, they're just random signed up men. Very heavy melee infantry. This is what it's these guys and my very light missile infantry that the entire thing is based around. Vigilets are good against cavalry to a degree, but medium infantry are just not good enough
Yeah.
overall. The plebs are just there to just take fire from ranged troops, take
Start
hit.
the battle.
Yeah, very light missile infantry, medium spear, and very heavy melee. So they're balanced. I've got the extra plebs.
So do you
They're
just
what I'm going to use.
watch it play out now?
No. I've set
Oh,
it to
that's
fast
good.
forward because
This is it fast forward?
yeah, because they need to run all the way up to my guys, so I need to give that time. But what I can do is I can order my troops around. I'm still in charge. I can order them around. I can order them to fight. I just don't do any of the fighting myself.
Okay.
But yeah. I did not want to have to start with a battle, but we loaded straight into one, so
They're
hey-ho would
coming.
you know.
They're coming.
Yeah. So, I've kept these guys at the back facing back the way in case anybody tried to go around behind them, but the enemy army is quite small. So I think the chances of them actually trying to do that is quite slim. So I'm going to now move my plebs up into position to start taking some fire.
Yeah.
And that means that they'll protect the better troops by basically taking the casualties themselves.
So why didn't you meet them in the field?
Because I need to funnel them into my heavy infantry. Because if they get a flank maneuver, like my plebs will not stand and fight in a straight fight. They need to have some sort of advantage, which means I need to compress my army.
Okay, so you have to like draw them in.
Yeah, because I need to have the plebs and the heavy infantry sitting in the same
Could
place.
they not
the same with the medium infantry.
Could they not outflank you though?
Yes, but they won't.
Why?
Well, the AI is not as good, but also if they were to walk around, that would take a bit of time, and it would leave them fighting medium infantry, because that's what these guys are, against very heavy infantry, plebs. They would be massively outnumbered. Yeah. Hold on, sorry, it's actually quite difficult to play with the microphone sitting. So this means that the men are wavering and preparing to run away.
What does the flashing light, the flashing flag?
So they've ran away.
Off they
you
go.
See them running away?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine because they're down to 24 men, so they've soaked up all the damage I wanted them to soak up. So that's not too bad a thing. Why are these guys taking so much damage though? I need to move them in. Yeah. Because the issue is that if the 2 units of plebs have run away, but if the unit of plebs ran away at the same time as the medium infantry after these other units had taken damage, it would have caused a mass rout. They would all have run. So putting them all in the one place makes that a lot less likely to happen.
God,
So I've
that
taken a
must
lot more damage to the heavy infantry, the very heavy infantry, than I thought I would have. So I don't know what's hitting them.
that must have been terrifying to be in that kind of battle.
Especially when you consider that basically any injury was,
Death.
if it wasn't a flesh wound, it wasn't fixable.
Yeah. We
You know?
take modern medicine for granted a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But then you imagine what you think like medicine in like 500 years is going to be compared to what it is now. And they'll
Now, what I've
probably...
done is the units that throw have a bit of a problem throwing either when you're either too close or if you're already engaged with friendly units.
Yeah.
That's why if you have a look at these heavy infantry, they never threw anything. They've still got 97% of their ammo.
You see the when the enemy's flag is flashing, does that mean they're going to be running
Yeah,
away?
they're now routed.
Okay.
And when the flag disappears, it means they're shattered and they cannot be reassembled. If they
Okay.
rout, they can come back together and fight again. And if they waver, they can be solidified and made steady. But if the flag disappears, they have shattered. So you see that unit routed and is now turned back around. But what I've done is I've used my skirmishers to pelt the very heavy infantry
Yeah.
to try and balance the numbers a bit better.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
And I'm going to try... Yeah, you see now that blue's going down because they're not in a fight anymore and there's nowhere they're able to get a good shot so they can throw.
Yeah.
So they throw slower than the actual throwers do. But they will throw and it will do damage. And they obviously carry a lot less ammo.
Yeah.
So at the minute, my balance of power now says I'm more likely to win than lose.
Yeah, I've been watching that. Like the yellow's
Yeah.
creeping up.
Mm-hmm.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Now what are you doing?
I'm splitting my army into 2 units because I want to try and twist their infantry to give me a flanking maneuver.
Also, you're
I'm
going to...
I'm going to try and trick them into attacking the medium spears.
set the people on the right-hand side.
Yep. Okay.
So how long have you actually been playing this for?
I don't know, I'd have to check my Steam account, but this campaign is only a few turns old, maybe 20, but I did play another campaign that was like 200 turns or something where I conquered the map. Right, now they haven't fallen for that. Yeah. However, their infantry has already previously routed, so its morale's not great, and now it's shattered. So their medium spear have shattered. They are now leaving the battlefield, and they will only fight if they are basically caught in a fight.
Yeah.
But if they can get out, they will try and run. And so they're now done. They're not coming back. So all I'm waiting for is to try and get the skirmishers, who are not melee infantry, so against these spears they should lose quite handily. Possibly draw this unit in as well. And eventually they'll have to move, and they can't attack both sides at once, which means that their flank will be exposed.
Yeah.
And then I just pincer them. Now, if I didn't have the levies, I would have had to charge in with these guys, and it would still have worked, but then I would have been counter-flanked. But this way, I was able to protect the flanks without compromising my plan or myself.
Yeah.
However, they're now not moving at all. So I'm going to take the initiative and I'm going to charge.
Ooh. Somebody's bold.
Yep.
Ing.
Wait for it. Now.
So the guys with the shield, the stronger ones.
So, yes, this hasn't worked at all, and I forgot, and I'll tell you why, and it could cost me the fight, is that they charge the centre of the opposition unit, not the part of it you tell them to charge.
Right.
So they have not flanked at all. They have completely just charged the middle of the unit as one big clump. So, in essence, if you don't micromanage, your battles can fall apart very quickly because the AI is thick. It's absolutely thick as mince.
Yeah.
And that makes the battles a bit easy.
Oh, your general's dead.
No, their general's dead.
Oh.
That makes the battles very easy if you get everything right. But if you trust anything to the friendly AI, it's as thick as the opposition AI.
Okay.
And so you will find yourself suddenly in a losing position or not doing as well as you would have if they had just been a bit smarter.
Yeah.
Or just done exactly what you told them to, but for some reason the game says you can't tell them to do that.
Well, a lot of the bad guys your enemies seem to be running away.
Yes. But now it's a sort of straight fight between the two sets of heavy infantry. And mine are better. And they're also, this is very important. You see how it says very tired?
Yes.
That's massive because these are two sets of heavy infantry fighting each other, very heavy and melee infantry.
Yeah.
Right? They'll be reasonably well balanced. The veteran legionaries may be slightly better, actually. I'm not sure. But the fact that mines are on active and theirs are very tired will pay dividends for me.
Yeah.
Because they've already balanced the numbers when I was outnumbered like 5 or 10 to 1. My guys, sorry, 5 or 10 to 1, that's not right. By 10 or 15 men, it's now I'm outnumbered them by 6. Like, so they are losing. And it's because they're tired and they're fighting these guys as well, who will happily just... If I kill one very heavy infantry for each 5, 6, 10, 20 guys of these I lose, that's enough to balance the fight.
Yeah.
All I'm hoping that doesn't happen is that I hope we don't get a mass rout. Because that would be a one way they might be able to win. But I don't really see it happening.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Yeah. Because you see,
You guys are winded.
My heavy infantry just marched from here straight through.
Yeah.
Just straight through their unit, just in a line. I did that in a...
Oh, well done.
Yeah, thank you. I did that in a previous fight I was fighting.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like the roundup of how the battle went. So this unit killed 227. Their heavy infantry unit killed 198.
That felt like it took a lot longer than 14 minutes.
Yeah, because you do have to micromanage a bit of stuff even in a battle that you're winning.
Yeah, so that's why it felt like a long time.
There's also the fact that it would have been a lot less than 14 minutes because it counts the time that's on fast forward as well.
Oh, right, okay.
So it would actually have been less. So this red means that entire unit was eradicated.
Yeah.
And that white means the unit still exists.
So you've still got to do another battle to totally win.
Well, no, because like I said, that unit, I don't believe that unit necessarily has a home base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Right. So I'll explain this because this doesn't look good. This is not going well for me. Basically, I unfortunately took in my mind the same mentality in approach to this as I had at the end of the previous game.
Yeah.
Not at the beginning. So I've somewhat overextended myself because I forgot about certain problems that come up at the beginning of the campaign. So these guys are really not happy with me.
Why?
Like this is the public order, and if that gets low enough, they launch a rebellion.
Yeah.
So the only reason that that's improving is because there is a full-blown rebellion. So the malcontents who are unhappy with me have left to form the rebel army. So the overall public order is better because all the rebels have left, but I have to destroy that army.
Yeah.
And that's basically combines with the culture. So basically what's happened here is that it's easier to take places in the end game, and I've forgotten that.
You
and
numpty.
so I've overextended myself.
You numpty.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into the actual management of it, and I'll try and remember. So, just to see this sort of stuff, the game is split into provinces. You select a province. I believe this is a province, and it has its different build slots down here. Like in previous games, you can't build more than one thing in an area.
How come?
So I can't have, like, yeah, that's right. I can't have two. This is the full tree for the field of Mars. That's how you build units. I can't have two legionary barracks in the same province in a region.
Why?
Well, it would be like having two sets of, well, if you put, say if you put aqueducts, so if I look at the aqueducts, I can put in public toilets.
Yeah.
Why do I need to put in public toilets twice or three times or four times? So it's just once. I think it also is to stop you from just spamming all the military. See, if you were to just spam military and food, you would be,
Yeah.
it would be a bit easy.
Do you know that they used to sell poop from the cities to the farmers?
Yeah.
Because it was richer.
Anyway.
That was in Horrible Histories. I remember that. I love that show.
So it's just an awful lot to go through. So I'm just
sorry.
Just gonna go through it. You have to pay money for each upgrade, but each upgrade will also take other things from you. One of which might be food. So for a fully upgraded barracks, where I can produce Praetorian legionaries and cavalry, the best units in the game, it takes 8 food from me a turn.
Well, that makes sense.
So to balance that, you need to build food.
Build the food.
Areas that can generate food. So I always, in an area, if I can, I always build military food production, military food production, military food production. That's always what I do. And if I can, I'll throw into the capital area a shrine.
Yeah.
Because that improves
Neptune.
Usually to Jupiter. Because it improves your convertment to Latin. It all depends on what faction you've gone. I chose to go the Roman factions, but there are other factions available. But I thought it's Rome Total War. I might as well go Rome.
Yeah. Because what was it? The Romans took their gods from the Greeks, but they just changed them to the names of the planets.
Sort of. It's a little bit more complicated than that.
No, but it's like Jupiter is Zeus.
They've got equivalents. It doesn't necessarily. Anyway, we must move on. In certain buildings will give you a garrison.
Right.
So if an enemy army attacks Mediolanum, they will have to fight this army of 12 units.
Yeah.
But I can't, that's a garrison army, so I can't select that army and march it to attack Octodurus or anything like that. It's a garrison army. I don't have control of it like that.
Yeah.
But it's a defensive one.
Yeah.
The capitals in each area will have walls, and they can have defensive units on the walls, like engines. So basically, you know, like catapults and ballista and mangonels and that sort of thing.
Can I ask a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
There was like a city up there. It's got like floating down stuff.
Yes. So in this, if you own the entire province, you can enact an edict.
What's that?
It's an edict which promotes certain things. So if you pick the one I've got at the minute is plus 20% wealth from commerce buildings.
Yeah.
And reduced slave to population decline. I want the wealth. Because the wealth then allows me to build more buildings more quickly and allows me to secure my empire faster. But you can have breeding games to give you food and public order. You can have loyalty to increase the loyalty to the ruling party, you know, all that sort of stuff. Tax increase, blah, blah, blah. And that's what that's just like, you know, those movie scenes where like the emperor is riding up to the Senate because he's going to start some gladiatorial games at the Colosseum. And they've got all this stuff raining down on the petals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like leaf-based confetti.
Okay.
So that's that enemy army. They got a new general because I killed the old one. My army, that's my army. Your armies can't be repaired manually. They repair automatically over time.
Okay.
So that's why that army won't fully repair. So hopefully they don't hire mercenaries, because if they do, I don't know what I'll do. However, they're a rebel army. So that army I was talking about, improving the disposition of my peoples by 30% is because I have eradicated most of the rebel army.
Yeah.
They will probably not be able to recruit mercenaries. I don't think rebel armies can. I've never seen it if they can.
Does this game continuously play even if you're not logged in, or does it only play when you're
no,
logged
it's
in?
turn-based. You select all your options
Okay.
and then hit end turn down here in the bottom right.
Yeah.
And then that sends the game into the next turn, and everybody else gets their turn.
Okay.
So yeah, you can upgrade buildings along specific chains. You don't have to destroy a building to restart. I think I can right click on this. Left. If I hover over it, I get the options, and I can convert, and I can convert it to a different type of building.
Oh, that's
with
cool.
different benefits. So a harbour brings in some wealth. A military wharf brings in more defensive options. A shipwright is a balance between the two. And the one I go with usually is a fishmonger.
Okay. Why is there a
Because
floating hammer?
that means I can expand the city,
Okay.
which I might want to do with here.
Actually, I'm asking
Because I
only the
can
very
build-
important questions.
No, you are, because as your population growth increases in regions, you can expand your cities and towns.
Yeah.
And so that's very important, because now I can build a villa to get extra food.
Nice.
I always, if I can, build barracks for proper professional troops, not auxiliaries, because I find them pointless, and a villa for food.
Can I ask
Always.
another question? Why are there like dotted lines and boats going along them?
That's a trade line. You can use a navy to raid it and make some money, but you'll annoy
Okay.
everybody who trades along that route.
Ah. Okay, cool.
Yep. So
It looks interesting.
yes, I like to build. If I do build any, like
Very
industry,
tactical.
that increases squalor, which is unhappiness. So I then like to combat that by building public toilets.
Yeah.
I've got my ways of playing. When it comes to armies, you've got different stances. So you don't just move. You can also put your men into a raiding stance, where they will take from the land around, which is good if you're in enemy territory, but you can't, if you're outnumbered and you're trying to get them to come and attack you rather than hide in a city, you'll start a raid. You can go into ambush, so you can hide along a route. You think an enemy army is going to come along, and you've got a certain chance of ambushing them, and if you ambush them, it's a much easier fight.
Yeah.
You've also got fortify, which is you basically just hide up inside a small defensive position, and forced march gives you extra 75% campaign movement range, but you can't start a fight, and if anybody picks a fight with you, they get an automatic ambush.
Haha.
This is the army view that shows you the units, and you can see all their skills on the left hand side.
Oh yeah.
So you can see that my first cohort infantry are pretty good,
Sweet.
but they're nowhere near as good as the Praetorians that I hope to get very soon.
So how
You can rename legions.
how long
Give
do
me
you
a name. Okay. Over here, you've
Tumbleweed.
got... What?
Tumbleweed.
Can I not have something better than tumbleweed?
Cactus juice. Cactus water. And if you like Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know why that. You understand that reference, cactus
I don't
juice.
know if that's how you spell bearers. As in to bear your chest.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say chest bears, like an actual bear, like
There you
No, like a
go.
bear, like
No,
BEAR.
no, I know. I'm not doing that because you're not get. That's creeping me out.
But that
Um,
that might just suggest they've all got a tattoo of a bear on their chest and they're ferocious.
so,
Oh,
uh, they're wolves. Remember, they're Roman. Um,
I don't get
your
that.
legion has ranks, so you get different things. So when you upgrade, you can upgrade a legion to have different abilities. The general has a rank, and any agent attached to the army has a rank. So the legion is the most important one because you can keep your legions alive, and if your legion is ever eradicated, you can bring them back.
Yeah.
Not the army, but the legion with new units. Um, as I said, the units have ranks as well. That's also very important. So I always find that if we skip forward to no, it's not hire You can hire mercenaries. I rarely do, and you can hire new units. The units that are available are dependent upon the region you're in. So these are the best I can make. But if I march this army back to like Rome, I'd be able to make much better units. Whereas if I select a city, I can raise a new army by selecting a general, and that's the reinstate legacy. That's if your legion gets wiped out. You can bring back the third legion chest bearers,
Yeah.
and you just put new units into it. But you have to select a general, and when the general dies, you have to select another one, and that's where the politics comes into it. Because remember, I was telling you about the rebellions in the previous game.
Yeah.
If you've got too many armies led by generals of a traitorous party faction, they will rebel.
Yeah.
But if you don't have enough generals, you have to pick the traitors, and then eventually you're guaranteed to have a rebellion army. So yeah, you pick a general and you pick if it's an army or a fleet or whatever.
Yeah.
You can also recruit agents, so spies to go and get your information. Dignitaries can like destabilize areas, but they can also improve your faction's culture in the area.
Yeah.
So they can increase the Latin culture, but they can also be used to decrease the cost of your army. My personal favorite is the champions, the veterans. You put one of those in your army, and every turn, if you've picked the right ability, I always pick this ability first. They increase the experience points the experience of your units without them being in battle. So across the course of a life of a veteran, they can take totally blank units up to like gold level.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah, so they're my favorite. So objectives, this is just random objectives. They can sometimes be very good because sometimes the rewards like 2,500, but sometimes it's okay. So it doesn't have it. These are the winning criteria for culture, economic, and military victory. I'm obviously going for military because it's the most fun. Like I got rewards where I got 34,000 gold.
Yeah.
For completing missions. This one's just 2.5. That's how much money I've got down the bottom right. You'll see it come up in a moment. It'll say current treasury.
Yes.
The one next to it is predicted income. So I've got 6,000. I'll make 5.5 this turn. I have 18 surplus food. If that ever drops to below 0, you're in trouble.
Right. So that means
'Cause
like
your
there's
armies,
famine or something like that in a
yes,
region.
yes, armies in a famine region
Will
or
run
armies
away.
out with a surplus region. So if you've got armies in a foreign area, they will start to take huge amounts of attrition. It's like 20% a turn.
Yeah.
You have got to get them out as soon as you can. And this is the year and this season over here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. These are just more events messages. This is your forces, so you can quickly find where everybody is. Blah, 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 blah. Chest bear. Provinces. These are the provinces I control. Green means you control the entire province. Red means it's contested, so you own some of it and they own other parts. So if you see here, somebody else owns Aquinsum, which is part of the Pannonia province.
Yeah.
This is how much money they make per turn. So I think I should have the best one, Latium, which includes Rome. and these are the factions. So this is my standing with them.
Yeah.
This is whether or not we're allied or at war. So that's a defensive ally, that's a client state, so I own them, and that's at war. And this tells you whether or not we're trading.
Nice.
So I've declared war on basically everybody I can't trade with.
That's a very grown-up logic.
Yeah. They're of no use to me. Wipe them out. Keep the people you can trade with, because down here we've got my objectives, like I said, trade and finance. So I make 5,500 a turn. So I'd be losing money a turn if I didn't have trade. So keep your trade going. It also increases as you produce more stuff. So if I take an area that produces good timber, the trade will increase as all these other nations buy my timber, and I don't import it anymore. Also, over time, it increases because people in that area trust the Roman marble, so they buy more of it.
I trust the Roman marble.
Yeah. So it's worth doing that. This is a technology tree. This is kind of, this was introduced, I believe, in like Empire Total War sort of era, which was late 2000s. So you get lots of different. Your research rate goes up depending upon the actions of agents and the buildings you build.
So is this like you say, technology? So is this basically like the development of like a cart, kind of?
No, that's too simple. I know what you're saying.
I'm trying to like.
It's more like the military one was like the supply reforms,
right?
And then like the Marius reorganizations and all that sort of stuff. So I can only build a level 2 barracks at the minute because my technology is too inferior. But professional soldiery allows me to build a level 4. And that's what I'm just gunning for, because in 26 turns I've got that, and I can build Praetorians and just
wipe everybody out.
Exactly. It'll be easy. I haven't even bothered with the civil stuff. So split into military and civil. You've got to do this one first before it opens up the 3 options, which are economy, philosophy, and construction. Whereas with military, you do supply reforms and you open up management, tactics, and siege. So management is the one I'm focusing on to give me the ability to build the best units. Because when you've got a legionary barracks in a city, you actually have a unit of Praetorians who protect the city. So you get the best unit in the game at every single battle. So it's just easily the best thing to do. This is the faction overview. This is the politics. Now, I haven't delved into this very much at all. I sort of did it late game in the last one because it sort of confused me. I can hire council members, but I don't know if they're loyal. They'll be loyal to these guys, right?
Why is there so many people called Julia?
Yeah. So this is the Octavian dynasty, and we are in charge, and we are currently an empire. And that gives us certain benefits, as does our admiration rate. The size of the Imperium also dictates how large a number of armies we can have and all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
But these guys, their loyalty is what's really important. You want these guys to be loyal. So they're unhappy with me because -5 faction loyalty for number I'm at war with. Well, I'm at war with like 4 people, so that's a maximum -15. +1 loyalty, positive relations. Well, I'm at war with so many people, I can't have that. And they hate barbarians, so -2 loyalty for each faction. So these guys are basically, you can't, they're way too complicated to actually make happy.
Yeah.
These guys are bigots.
Yeah.
Xenophobes. And a thirst for power. I can't make them happy either. That's never going to work. But what I can do is I can provoke them into attacking me. I can pay them off, or I can just kill some of them.
That
Because it's
sounds
an
more
empire,
fun.
so-
That sounds a lot more fun.
Yeah, I've never done that before because I've never an empire in the previous game. And this is my family tree. Gaius Julius Caesar, Gaius Julius. Yeah. So what you can do is I can seek a spouse for some nobles to try and secure their loyalty. In the case of my guy, he's already married, but I can.
Who's this
Yeah,
woman?
that doesn't work. She's too good. You can use these people basically for political intrigue, but
Yeah.
it's extremely complicated, and I don't think it explains itself too well. So I've never really done it. But it costs gravitas and money to do things, so it's pretty tricky. What I have found really difficult is to get my guys who are in charge to have children. I found that to be really hard. There doesn't seem to be an option other than adopt. There's not an option for make babies. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. I can also get characters to commit suicide apparently.
Your phone battery's running low, by the way.
Yeah, I know it's going to turn off in a minute. And then finally, I've shown that this is the diplomacy.
Right.
So you can select and talk to people. There's not much for me to do because I've already set up all my trade routes and all that jazz. But let's say if I go to Rome, I can set up a war target so we can both attack the same person.
Mm-hmm.
I can clear the target. That's a specific thing. I don't think I've used it. I can initiate diplomacy and I can talk about things. So these are treaties I've already got, which is defensive alliance. Let's see if he'll go for a trade agreement.
Our generals stand ready. When would you like us to attack these perfidious foes?
Right, so they want money to join the war against Pompey. Counter offer. Trade agreement. They have rejected.
I fear accept.
Ah well. So the whole premise of this particular part of the campaign is that it's just after Gaius Julius Caesar has died, and the empire is split into four. And you've got
Right.
Pompey's Rome over here, Lepidus's Rome here, Octavian's Rome over here, and Mark Antony's Rome over here.
Is that like Egypt and things like that?
Yeah, in Greece.
Yeah.
In fact, see this area here? This is really all his.
Okay.
And down to here. And he's up here as well. Lepidus is here and here. I am the red, and Pompey was the blue here.
Yeah.
I kicked him out, and he's now just stuck over here. He's got one army left, I think, and that's it there. And I've tricked it into coming on land, and it's in forced march. You can see that from the legs icon.
Yes.
So I can then select this army and march them up, and I can't attack because I'm too far away. Oh, that is so unlucky. That is so unlucky. I did that perfectly, and I am literally... Can you see those overlapping fields? I'm just too far away to attack.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's really it. My real issue has been fights down here,
Yeah.
where Lepidus keeps sending fleets to attack. I've managed. It doesn't even matter if I lose because this army is right here and just walks in and wipes out whoever wins. So all in all, I don't lose because it's just a garrison army. They come back anyway. It's not a big deal. But it has been quite annoying, just the sheer number of times that like this has happened where you're just it's like the computer knows. No, don't turn around. Oh my god. I'm putting them into Syracuse, and if they turn around and take a smaller area, that's not a problem.
See, I think that to play this kind of thing, you have to have a very tactical mind. I do not have a tactical mind, so I find it really interesting to look at and fascinating to understand how you play it. But I think I would probably play this for maybe a couple of days and then get bored of it.
Well, the last thing I think I've got to show is really this.
Ooh, map.
This is the full map. It's the same as the main game map.
Luigi.
Well, they've renamed it
It's not
this
Luigi, I thought
Botanic Isles for some reason. They've renamed things. It's the same map, but they've renamed things.
Yeah.
Rearranged a few lines here and there. But it's the same map overall.
Nice.
So you can see different things here. So you can see the region growth, which is huge around here, but
Yeah.
lower around the
Yeah.
rubbisher parts. Wealth, massive in Rome, lower everywhere else. Public order, red is bad.
Yes.
I'll fix that. It's not a problem.
I gathered that.
Diplomatic status. So basically, I'm allied with everybody in blue. I'm neutral to everybody in grey. I'm enemies with everybody in red. And I am everything in yellow.
Cool.
So that is a rebel army because there's no red over here for that army. So they won't go through attrition because they're in their home area because
Yeah.
they're a rebel army. But they won't get more troops unless I annoy people, and public order is going up, so we should be fine there. Faction ownership. So yeah, I'm the red one. I'm the biggest faction by... The thing is that I think the Helvetii and some of these over here are actually... They're actually my client states. So's Thrace here. So in Egypt, I believe, is a client state of Antony's Rome. So he might be bigger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is bigger than me. But I think I'm bigger than the other two Romes put together, so that's okay.
Nice.
And I'm not going to take on Antony's Rome. I'm just going to take everything around it and then deal with him later. Party affiliation. So this is the thing you got to pay attention to: rebellions. So the red I control personally, so that's not going to rebel against me. But blue is the Patrici Council and orange is the Libertini Collegium. So yeah, that's where the difficulty lies. They now own these parts, and if I back out and go to the faction, I need these guys. I can't do it by myself because the game just doesn't give you enough people in your dynasty to do everything by yourself. But what I can do
is marry people off.
I can give this guy a wife.
Is he happy now?
Yeah, and that makes him more loyal to me now.
Okay.
I can also hire politicians, but I believe that they go into the Patrici candidate or the Libertini Collegium. I was lucky in the last game. I had a couple of families that were just completely loyal and stayed that way, and so it wasn't a difficulty. But that's everything. I don't see the point in taking another turn just to show another battle. If it was like a proper look at the game, I would, but it's just a wee talk, so I don't see the harm in just leaving it there.
Yeah. Like I said, it looked really, really interesting. Don't get me wrong.
I've played it for... Hold on. I've played it for 136 hours.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Because I enjoy it.
Wow. So we've just got one story for you this week, and it is about E3 this year. Now, as I believe we talked about last year, it was initially, I think, going to be partially live, partially online. And then it all kind of fell apart because they weren't able to get backing for it, I believe. That was the reason why it never happened. It just didn't get enough support. This year, however, it is all going to be online. And it's going to be between... It's all going to be between the 12th and the 15th of June. And from what I understand, it's going to be free for everybody. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, the ESA has confirmed that E3 2021 will be entirely free for attendees.
Which is good. You know? So I think it's basically going to be pretty much how it would be if it was live, but it's just going to be online instead. People like so you've got like people like Xbox, Nintendo, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers. I think is it Rochi have all been, or Coach. I think I can't even read my own writing. Coach KOCH.
Coke.
Yep, they've all been confirmed for going to be taking part in E3 this year. However, people like Square Enix, Sony, EA, and Activision are amongst are amongst the companies who have said they will not be attending. There's a few others out there, but those are kind of the most notable ones. And if you're interested, then the registration for the event takes place in the spring. But you can sign up on E3's website to get notifications about it. But it's interesting the fact that this year they're just like, do you know what? It's all just going to be online. Safest way to do it, online.
It is sort of disappointing because I think this will probably just be the way that E3 will now go. And that's disappointing because when we started this, it was something we actually wanted to at least do once.
Yeah.
Like if anybody did ever start watching and were interested, which, as I said, we haven't started doing videos yet, we haven't been in a position to, so who knows? But it's something that I would have liked doing, but it looks like this is probably just going to be the way it's going to go.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say that as soon as they can make it live, they'll make it live again. Because there'll be a lot of people gunning to actually go to a live event when all of this is over. So I believe that they will eventually go back to it being an actual, you go to a physical building.
I don't think it will be the same thing, though.
How come?
I think the actual E3 concept is just so outdated now that I don't think it'll be the same thing.
No.
I think it'll be more like a fringe type event.
You mean like the Edinburgh Fringe?
Yeah, it'll be less like a sort of
you can pick and choose to what you want to go see, you mean?
no, less of an exposition, less of a look at our great game, more of a sort of, oh, we've set up booths full of people playing this, do you want to have a go?
Right.
And you'll have people who make content who'll be like, oh, we're playing D&D on this stage, do you want to come and watch us? We're playing competitive Halo, who wants to come and see who's the best, that sort of thing.
Well, that still sounds fun, though.
Yes, but that's my point. That sounds better, and I think that's what it will be. But I did want to see an E3 as it is at least once, but I don't think I will.
Oh, well. So
because
basically...
E3's already changed a lot from what it used to be. Like
Okay.
the people that I watch a lot, they used to go along to E3 and they used to go to the actual, scheduled events where they announce things, and Bethesda were given an hour and PlayStation were given an hour and Xbox were given an hour and all that sort of jazz, although that's logically, Bethesda and Microsoft are now in the same hour.
Yeah.
But, and they'd set up and they'd record it and all that sort of jazz. And now they watch the stream of it and talk about it. They go there, but they go there so they can mingle with all the different other people who talk about games and play games and make games.
Yeah.
They don't actually go to the showing of the event. They host up in a conference room somewhere else and watch the stream and talk about it that way.
I can see
it's better.
that. Yeah.
But it's different. So I think it's just changing again.
Yeah. So that's all really we wanted to talk about this week.
Yes, there is an E3 this year.
Yes, it's happening.
It's
just going to be different. Yeah. So if you've liked what you've heard and you'd like to hear more, you can always subscribe to our channel.
It can't be more. I was playing Rome for about 6 weeks there and I didn't actually do anything. The game is just so full of stuff.
Yes.
And you know what's so crazy about that?
What?
That I genuinely consider that to be a very easy game to play compared with something like Stellaris.
You scare
I'm
me.
betting you that is really complicated.
You scare me.
Yeah.
So like I said, if you want to hear more, you can subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification bell. You can hit the like button, share button. That'd be all fantastic. you can leave a comment down below, or you can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. All the information will be left in the description box down below. You can also find us on Facebook at overshadow.shadowcast. And all that's really left for me to say is thank you so much for listening. And I really hope that you've enjoyed that explanation of Rome Total War as much as I did, because I did enjoy it. I did.
Yeah, I think that the issue is that needs like an hour and a half to talk about and then do something fun in. I don't have that, so I had to just talk about the game. I couldn't talk about anything. So the only bit of fun I got was to call one of my legions Chest Bear. Like, I didn't. Whereas, and last time it was Football Manager. I've got to cram everything into 20 minutes. I can't have any fun with that. I have to just show you everything. So
yeah.
I think it might be worth deliberately picking a game where it's easier to explain and I can just do something funny. But I don't know what game that is.
That might be a good option. So anyway, thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.